My sex ed experience was pretty unhelpful and scary. It was just somebody telling me all the STIs I was gonna get if I slept with somebody, a girl specifically.
Well, first of all, it was horrid. It was always either for straight women or straight men, and there was never anything outside of that.
When I was in grade 6, we had a final exam for our sex ed class, and every answer on the test was abstinence.
Basically it sucked. In school, day one was, everyone experiences sexual attraction, and as someone who didn't, that made everything that followed irrelevant and mysterious, and not in the good way.
In grade 5, we learned about what our bodies did and how they worked and about anatomy. And then in grade 7, we blew up condoms and played with them like balls, and it was super fun and really not helpful for learning anything about sex ed. And then in grade 9, we learned about all the STIs and how bad they were and how if we had sex, we would get them.
So my sex ed involved saying the words vagina and penis out loud in a room so we wouldn't blush, which really isn't very effective, and it was very anatomy based. And then we also talked about if we were to have sex, the worst case scenario with STIs and STDs, and it was all very heteronormative, and it didn't represent me at all.
Outside of the fact that it was heteronormative and cisnormative, I didn't learn anything. They showed us images of STIs and pregnancy, but they didn't even talk to us about it.
My biggest, strongest memory of my sex education experience was my grade 10 teacher saying "les petits spermies," and her hand was shaking over the overhead projector, and she said "spermies," and I was like mimicking a sperm with her hand. So for me, my biggest kind of memory of sex ed was fear on behalf of the educators, like just not knowing what to say, not knowing what to do, and I think they understood that it was a big deal what they were teaching us, and they didn't really know, they didn't have the resources, I think, to do it right.
It didn't cover all the different identities, the different orientations, and what could and couldn't happen. It's just, here's a condom, make sure you have safe sex when you're with a guy. That's not a reality for all of us.
Public health nurse came in and we had this box, and we were supposed to all write our questions and put them in this box, and it was supposed to be anonymous and a safe space, and you could ask anything and no one would know who it was. She got to mine, and obviously no one knew who it was, but still the question I put in was, how do gay people have sex? I remember her answer, and she opened it and she read it to the class, how do gay people have sex? And then she got kind of really uncomfortable and folded it up and said, that's not a question we're going to answer in this class. And then threw it in the garbage. And everyone kind of giggled and tee-heed, and I mean, I definitely did that too, but then in retrospect, thinking about it, how messed up is that? Because that message right there was just this isn't a question that's valid. We're not going to answer this question, and we're not going to address, sex ed that's not sort of very heteronormative.